Welcome to what's officially day 2 of this Texas Karting League excursion.
As a recap to yesterday's video, we're at a track in Crescent, Texas called Kart Moto, which is a pretty cool place. Not only for the track that we'll be racing on today, but also for the car track that neighbors us, featuring all sorts of builds, such as full race street cars and formula cars, and others, of course. But that's for another time. Yesterday, we fought our way up to 3rd place in the 206 senior class's heat 1 of 2, allowing us to have a better and more secure chance for a podium today for that last heat and main event. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend you do first before watching the rest of this one. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe and like the videos because it helps me and gets these videos out there to more people. Now, the question is, can we hold on to this position? That will be answered by the end of this video. Welcome to what turned out to be a very, very intense second heat. You're now seeing us pull up to the acceleration zone here, getting ready to cross that line and get racing. So here we are, entered the zone. We are full throttle all the way through. Going into turn 1A, it's me in the 613 kart. I managed to poke my way through here with my inside line that I have. We're pushing our way down this hill, already making separation from the main pack and making it to where we have space later on in the session that we can use to actually battle each other, because there's no sense in battling each other whenever you have a massive pack behind you, because then what you're doing is you're putting your positions in danger. So now not only what we're doing is racing, but now we've made this a chess match where I am finding the perfect moment where we have enough space from the people behind us, but also enough time to make a move. And she doesn't know when that's going to happen, but I will be searching for all of her weak points in the track and where I'm faster than her, so I can try and take those advantages. Now, if you were at the actual race day, you would notice that there was an announcer at the track, and they actually had the microphone going into Discord. However, that audio isn't very good, so I can't really use a lot of it, even though I really want to. I'll give you a little preview of what it sounds like right here. So yeah, I'm sure you get the point. It would have been really cool to use it, but unfortunately it's just not really usable, but hopefully they get it working for the next race so I can actually use it, and I think it'd be a pretty cool addition for the finals. And here we are entering a more action-packed sequence here. We're making it through turn 9 as we speak and entering the turn 10 hairpin. The turn 10 hairpin leads to the final straight here, but I'm trying to get as close as possible and put my head down here. We are getting into the draft, and I see my dad give me the signal, go ahead and pass. So I make my move right here. We take it into this turn 1A, 1B sequence right here, and we make it stick. We take it into the S's, and we make sure not to make any mistakes, because any mistake right here would probably be fatal and make it to where my mood would be ruined for the rest of the race weekend, remembering that we do actually have a full final after this. So we have to make some decisions later on in this to see, do we really want that first place position? And if so, we're going to have to fight for it really hard in that next final. This is towards the end of that lap that I was just showing, and you can see she's already making moves to see where I'm slower, where she can take advantage, and where, yeah, she can ultimately gain her position back that she had. But later on in the day, my dad actually told me after the session that he probably thought that signal was a little bit too early, because that did give her the chance to actually get more data. Like here, you can see she's testing the waters there, trying to make passes anywhere she physically can because of that time that we have left. It's closing, but there's still quite a bit of time for the 206 class to make your choices anywhere. Once again, skipping forward a little bit more into this session, we can be seen here entering that final straight once again. She takes the outside line here to see if she can have the pull on me, and she actually does quite a bit. So now she knows that if she has the right line, and if I make my defensive move a little bit too early, she can actually have that acceleration out of the corner to make that pass on me to the finish line. So we do have to think about that. We do see her trying to make moves. which that does give me the warning that I do have to be a little bit more careful on these last few laps here. Coming out of turn 10 once more, she does that same maneuver, goes for the outside line. I go for the defensive line, so I have the advantage into the corner here. We are entering 2 laps to go. We have to defend this position if we want to get this first place, or if we want to bail out, then we have to also make that decision sometime very soon. Now, you may be asking, why would you want to bail out of first place? You're in first place. Well, you got to remember, this is not just a race anymore. This is a full-on chess match. We are playing a real-time strategy game right now where we have to make those decisions, and for the reason that we have a full final after this. This is not it. This is not the official podium positions. Sure, I may be in first place right now. She takes the inside line, takes the first place position from me. I go back for the inside, and I make the pass again, completing it through this turn. She takes that one a little bit too tight, but somehow gets the acceleration, takes the inside line away from me. I cannot go defensive for this, and we are entering 1 to go. White flag is waved. She gets the line there, which tells me that she's going to have the advantage if that happens again. She's now in front of me, and I take the wide line, trying to get a better turn in. She has the full track there, so I'm not able to do anything, so I'm just on her rear bumper, once again bumping her through this. But back to what I was saying, I may have had first place then, but that doesn't mean that this next session here is going to let me keep it, because once again we do have to battle away from the people in the main pack, which just means that that's just a whole nother opportunity for her to take that position back. So now I'm just going the wide line here. If I can get that first place position, sure, I'll take it, but once again, I'm not sure if I really want it. I have the outside line here, pinching her towards the inside. I go back out to try and take the turn 10. I take it, and then she has the acceleration once again for that outside line, and then she takes it through this final turn here, entering the checkered flag. That was some really intense racing and clean racing, I'll say, from the 613. Probably some of the most clean racing I've seen from the front end of a 206 race, because most of the time they are just carnage non-stop, and it's horrible. I hate it. But here we had some really clean racing. Thumbs up from her, and I agree, it was, yeah, again, really clean. But now here I am in the helmet, thinking to myself, that probably was a good thing that I didn't have first place, because of what I was mentioning earlier, is now we have the strategy of seeing if any changes are made to the kart. We can see where she maybe have changed some things and become slower or faster, or you get the idea.
What a race. It's definitely refreshing to have a race that's clean and something to where I can try things and that's fine because they know what to do in reaction to it, and not just blow up my kart with a brick of C4 or something. And it's definitely an event that's made from some pretty cool people, but they were saying it might not happen again after next year if they keep losing funds, because this year they said that they were actually down on funds. They're losing funds trying to run this event, so they don't have enough money for more staff, for things like TSRS does, like porta potties and food trucks and, you know, that type of stuff. So everyone has to go to the same bathroom, which isn't bad because it's an air-conditioned bathroom, but it's the point that they don't have the funds to get enough supplies to run it at full capacity yet. And that could be fixed, though, with more attendance. So if you guys are in the Texas area and search up texaskartingleague.com, I'm pretty sure the website, I'll put that on the screen. Be sure to go check it out, because it's a cool event. It's definitely fun to drive in, and it also gives you more practice to take into other races as well, because this is technically a regional race as well. But again, they can't take it to the full capacity yet because they don't have enough funds. So everything circles back to funding whenever you're running an event. So I get it. I guess cut to the next clip where I probably scripted something to say in my room.
We fought our way up to second place, marking the spot of a second chance at podium within our first year of racing. Just thinking of where things could go from here blows my mind, but we have one more thing of many to focus on. The final. And welcome to the final, where we're seen creeping forward to that acceleration zone ahead of us. We're currently in second place. P1 is to our left. And that means that we have the outside line coming up here, so we'll have to stay a a little bit tighter than normal. But here we are seen accelerating as fast as we can in this LO206 class right next to P1613, and we have space wide open. We try and go for it, and someone, the number 621 car, hits us and the rear spins out, and we are accelerating, trying to get back up to number 613. Now, after the race, there was quite a bit of controversy on whether something happened, whether I turned down on them or something else may have happened, because in the moment you're not really, registering everything that might be happening because of how much adrenaline is going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to replay that segment in slow motion, really analyze that rear camera view that we can take advantage of and see what happened there. This clip starts at the beginning of turn 1A, entering turn 1B here. I have my forward-facing camera in the top left for this, since main action is in the back end. At this point in the clip, we're turning down to try and apex 1B, and it is seen that he gets almost, I want to say, pushed into me, but honestly, I couldn't tell if the cart behind him was touching him or not. Playing it once again, a little bit slower, I still can't tell. It seems like there's space there. He's away from the curb, but it seems like some action happened in the rear end of his cart or something that caused him to get sent out. Maybe he was accelerating, or I don't really know what it was, but I would like to hear your guys' opinions in the comments, really, because I can't tell what to make of this. This is honestly my first real time analyzing this footage. So again, I would like to hear what you guys have to think about that, because, I mean, from my frontward point of view, I was thinking maybe I could have turned down. That's what he was suggesting maybe happened, but again, everything was going so fast in the moment we couldn't tell. So looking at the frontward thing, my steering wheel was pointed outwards, trying to overcorrect for something, I guess. I'm not sure, but yeah, I guess, again, you guys can look through the footage as much as you want. Obviously, it's a YouTube video, so you can play back, rewind, all that sorts of stuff, and let me know in the comments below. But we are going to get back to the regular racing here. Cutting back in, we are entering what looks to be turn 10, and I'm catching up to her, just trying to bump draft as much as physically possible to get away from the main pack as we did last session. So then we have best chances physically possible whenever it comes time to battle. We're not risking our positions in any way. But going through this final, a lot of it was a pretty good learning experience on learning how to tow and draft with someone, because this is one of my first real clean races, honestly, where I can actually work with somebody and effectively get away from the pack. So it taught me a lot about how to control the throttle through the turns, how to control the cart through the turns, following their lines, and how far I should be maintenance-wise on throughout the entirety of the turn, so then you can catch back up to them without, killing their race, because if you kill their race, then effectively you're killing your own at this point whenever you're this early on in the race, because that means all of your speed is also gone. You're not getting that extra draft advantage that you would have been getting if they were with you. So you do have to think about those things as you're going throughout the track. Skipping ahead again to where things get a little bit more interesting for this planning wise. Remember, chess not checkers for this entire session. We are now setting up to where we can see all of her weak points inside the track, and we can execute on those later on in the session. So we are just waiting on the final lap to come around, so then we can make our move and make it happen quickly. Now, for those that don't race, you may be asking, why would you want to do it on the final lap? Wouldn't that be a little bit more risky in setting up for trying to give yourself as much time as possible? Well, yes, it might be a little bit more risky, but we're trusting in ourselves that we have all of the data that we have gathered throughout this entire race from this competitor that we're driving against, the number 613 cart, which she is a very good driver, and like I said, executing on all of that data that we've gathered thus far. But still, you might say we can execute on that data a little bit earlier. Well, to answer that, I have to remind you that we are in the LO206 class. So the 206 seniors, again, we only have about 10 horsepower if we're lucky, really. We top out at about 60 miles an hour on certain tracks. On this one, I think we're topping out at around 55, I want to say, a little bit more probably, because it is a longer track. But all in all, what that is to say is that we do not have a lot of acceleration. So we want to execute these things on the final lap because of that lack of acceleration, because if we make any sort of mistake, that is amplified drastically throughout the entirety of our laps. So say we make a mistake 2 laps to go, we made the overtake still, but again, that mistake is happening. Then they can simply just pass you on that next lap, assuming that they aren't so close where they just pass you immediately. So we really do have to be thinking about every little detail as we're going through this and making sure that we can execute things as cleanly as possible without ruining our races, but also making it as efficiently as possible where we will fly by them and know that we have the position. And here we are entering the straight for what we see on the board up ahead is the final lap of the race. Again, the final lap. That means that now is the time to execute all of what we've been planning for and all of the data that we have gathered throughout this entire race. At this point in the race, we know that our position is secure, even if we rub tires a little bit, and we will be okay with it because there's no traffic behind us that is remotely close. So we close in, we still remain patient for that perfect moment that we have gathered from the last heat and also from the data that we've gathered through this entire race here. So here we are closing in on the 613. We go towards the inside of turn 9. We take that inside line, execute it cleanly, and keep that momentum throughout. She follows closely behind, trying to go into turn 10 here, trying to take the wider line so she can have a little bit more momentum. We have the wide line entering here. She does not have the speed exiting. I have the kart length, but we see a little bit of confusion here. The white flag just wove. But on the last lap, it was the final lap on the board. This is detrimental. This is catastrophic to our race even. Because of that confusion, we just messed up inside of the chicane there, meaning that we now have 0 chance at catching back up. This is insane. An insane turn of events. But again, bravo to the 613 kart for the excellent driving throughout the entire session. The clean driving back and forth. There was no altercations. Probably, again, one of the cleanest 206 races I have been in. That is me shaking my head in disbelief that that just happened. Passing the checkered flag in second place. Disappointed in myself because I know I could have had it in my hands if I had just had that one more lap and had the knowledge that that was not the last lap. Again, an insane way to end it, but we still got a podium. It just burns a little bit that we were that close to P1 and it was because of an informational error. All in all, though, again, great racing all around, and I would love to be in one of these events again.
It's my first time with you guys. Thank you very much for welcoming me, making me feel a part of the championship. Really appreciate it. I know some of you from racing elsewhere. A lot of you guys and girls are new to me, but thank you very much indeed. Thank you to the championship organisers. I've got to say that, you know, starting out a championship is the hardest ever. For those of you that have raced with grids of 2, grids of 3 this year, you're the key to the future of the championship, because if you didn't turn up when there was no one else to race against, then there wouldn't be a class. And next year, when more and more people join, and you've certainly not got 3 rivals, you've got 13 rivals, 33 rivals. So I really appreciate you guys and girls coming out when the grids aren't strong at the start of something. It's only going to grow from here. Right. So
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
So, even with the hiccups, we made our second podium of our career. The second place is secured with some great driving and strategy from everyone on the track. But, without further ado, let's get to those podiums.
Finishing in second position, Andon Stowe. the day is Shelby Ramirez. Could you fit any more of the diamond things in a crash helmet? No? Okay, once again, drivers, trophies in the air. Hold carefully. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, your top three today is Briggs L206 Senior.